Spend a lot of time talking about the NFL draft.
For 2 more months, we'll talk about it.
Yep. We're going to major
Probably every single show.
You're probably
Mock
right.
drafts come out, it seems like every day. You get different reports, whether guys are climbing draft boards or sliding down draft boards. Pretty soon we'll have a combine and we'll have pro days. And, of course, Washington has the number 2 pick.
Isn't the combine next week?
Next week.
Yeah, middle of the week, right? Yeah, I think Wednesday maybe starts.
I'll give you the dates right now, sir.
Yeah, let me know.
With the number 2 pick, the expectations are, should the Commanders stay there, that they will draft a quarterback. But Matt Miller, who is he's at NFL Draft Scout on Twitter, he has a point about the Patriots, which could apply to the Washington Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
So the Patriots have the number 3 pick. And in many mock drafts, you'll see quarterback, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It might be Caleb Williams followed by Jaden Daniels, which leaves Drake May to the Patriots, or vice versa, where the Commanders take Drake May and Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner, goes to the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
But their head coach, their new head coach, he said they don't have to go quarterback with their first-round pick. He said they're going to go with best player.
Mm-hmm.
Could be quarterback, but maybe it's Marvin Harrison Jr., or maybe it's an offensive lineman, whoever they believe is the best player on the board at number 3. Mm-hmm. Jason doesn't buy that. He believes they're going to go with the quarterback.
Well, I'll say this. I don't believe anything coaches will say in February about they're not going to give away who they're going to pick.
Yeah.
But they do need a quarterback, and they will acquire a quarterback. So if they do take best player available, and it's Marvin Harrison Jr., okay, well, that just means they're going to go out and get a veteran quarterback.
They'll go free
a
agent
Kirk Cousins
route.
type, make a trade for a Justin Fields.
Or like a Ryan Tannehill, I believe, is a free agent.
Because they're not going into next year with Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi.
I wouldn't think.
Well,
That's 100% lock.
Right.
Here's what Matt Miller tweeted about this specifically, and we can open up to callers and see if you think this applies to the Washington Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
He tweets, the Patriots should not draft a quarterback at number 3 overall. This roster isn't ready for a rookie quarterback and would just set his development back. This isn't Houston with a Hall of Fame left tackle and solid supporting cast. This is closer to Carolina, and we saw how that worked out.
Well, just because Bryce Young didn't work out doesn't mean whoever they would select potentially at number 3 isn't going to work out.
No, what he's saying is not the player. It's not the quarterback he wants you to focus on. He wants you to focus on the roster. He's saying Bryce Young wasn't set up for success because they didn't have a Hall of Fame left tackle.
Well,
they didn't have a good supporting cast.
In the last 4 years, we've gone through the Ron Rivera era where that was all that he was preaching was, we got to keep building up the roster until we find the quarterback. I think that's doing it backwards. You find the quarterback, and then you build the roster around said quarterback that's going to lead you for the next decade.
If the Carolina Panthers could redo the draft, they would take a quarterback. It just wouldn't be Bryce Young.
C.J. Stroud, the guy that everybody in the football ops reportedly wants.
So you can fill holes in the draft after you take your quarterback. You can do that, or in free agency.
Correct.
If you want to chime in,
Washington certainly can because they've got $80 million to spend.
If you want to chime in, 800-636-1067. Would you want the Commanders to do what Matt Miller is saying the Patriots should do? And that is fill out the roster first before you deal with the quarterback.
Here's why.
Because he believes if the Patriots, for example, draft a quarterback, not going to be set up for success because they don't have a good roster. Now, a difference here in Washington might be they've got all this cap space, so they can maybe bring in a really quality offensive lineman. They also have a bunch of draft picks right in the top 100. I think they have, is it 36 and 40, something like that, or maybe 34th and 40, whatever.
They got about 5 picks in the top 100, maybe.
Yeah, so they may be able to plug some holes better than the Patriots can at this point, just based on where they are. I saw a prediction from one of the guys from Pro Football Focus, and he just said Adam Peters and the Commanders are going to spend more money than anybody else this offseason.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense.
Well,
They've got the most cap space.
Well, this is what, again, and I would equate it to what Washington would do. Washington's not going to come back next year with Sam Howell as your number one.
Correct.
The Patriots aren't going to come back with Mac Jones as their number one. Doesn't mean they have to draft somebody. They could go out in free agency and pluck a Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
So if Washington was going to take someone other than a quarterback, well, they're still going to go out and get a quarterback.
Some people like the move. It was in one of these mock drafts where they trade out of number 2. I think it was with Denver. Slide down to number 12, acquire more picks, and draft somebody like J.J. McCarthy at 12.
Right. It still means you're drafting a quarterback.
And by the way, why are the Patriots being held up as the gold standard, as the way to run your organization and the way to run your draft? Like, their drafts have been awful over the last few years.
I don't think you're listening, though. They're not saying that the Patriots are doing it. This is what Matt Miller is suggesting they do.
Right. Well,
so your quibble is with Matt Miller.
My quibble is with him.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at who the Patriots are facing just in their division 6 times a year over the length of Jared Mayo's career as the coach. Tua, Josh Allen, and Aaron Rodgers.
Again,
so you just can't just sit there and say, well, we're going to run it back with Mac Jones. Whether it's a guy you pick at 3 or you go and sign somebody off the free agent
or make a trade
market.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just keep running out the status quo.
Correct.
He's suggesting for the Patriots, build out the roster because the roster is not ready for the rookie quarterback,
I am
and you'll set him back.
1,000% opposed to that sort of roster building concept.
There's some people, and we'll take some calls, again, 800-636-1067. I've seen on social media, they suggest them drafting the best tackle. Is it Joe Alt?
I mean, it could be any of those guys. The guy from Penn State.
The Shanu, the guy out of Penn State.
The local kid.
Would you be apoplectic if that happened?
Who drafts the
Commanders?
Well, it would be as bad of a pick as Chase Young at number 2. If they stayed at number 2 and picked a big fat offensive lineman instead of moving back and getting extra picks, that would make me question Adam Peters and everything he's doing with the front office.
And this would be my question to those fans who think that they should draft a tackle at 2.
Right.
All right, so who do you want your quarterback to be? If you're going to come back with Sam Howell,
right,
then I got issues. If you're going to try and make a trade for a Justin Fields, or if you're going to try and go out and pluck Cousins, all right, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But you can't come back with Sam Howell. No. You just can't. There's no way Dan Quinn in his first year and Cliff Kingsbury in his first year and Adam Peters in his first year are going to come back with Sam Howell.
I don't disagree with you, but I don't think it's a huge portion of fans. But there are a bunch of fans that are howlers who believe that he didn't get a fair shake.
I get that.
Because they point to bad offensive line, an offensive coordinator who didn't do him any favors, super pass happy, run the ball.
Life isn't fair. Life isn't always fair. It's not always fair for Sam Howell.
But as you know,
sorry,
and you would agree with this, it wasn't all the bad left tackle play. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
And it wasn't all the bad play calls by Bieniemy.
I'm not a howler.
I know.
I was a howler when I saw him in Annapolis.
Yeah. Well, that was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Okay.
In college. But 21 interceptions, leading the league in pick sixes, leading the league in sacks.
Yeah.
No,
to me, too many negative plays.
We're wasting our time talking about Sam Howell starting for the Commanders. I
agree.
I'd be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if they dealt Sam Howell, if a team would give them something for him. Because if I'm going to draft a young guy, I don't want another super young guy trying to be his mentor and his tutor.
All right, let's go to the phones. 800-636-1067. Would you be opposed to the thought of building out the roster before you draft the quarterback?
Very opposed. Let's go to Aaron. He is in Suitland. What's up, Aaron? You're listening to the Junks.
Man, you guys are slaying me. I talked to you guys a couple of weeks ago. We talked about even if they did draft the quarterbacks, right, any of the top 3 quarterbacks, all you guys said that they're not going to come in and beat out Howell for the first 6 or 7 games. So I don't understand what you guys
I didn't say that.
So you're
if they
saying
draft somebody at number 2,
Aaron, you're making up
I think
stuff.
they probably will beat out Sam Howell and start in week 1.
All right, I want you to get the audio, and I want to hear it. And I want you to get the audio of someone on the show saying there's no way the rookie quarterback would beat out Sam Howell.
One of us may have said it's possible.
For the first 6 games.
I said it's
first 6.
Yeah, I said it's possible if you don't want to throw him to the Wolves in week 1, Sam Howell could start for the first month, but doesn't mean Sam Howell's the better quarterback.
Well, all I'm saying to you is I would rather build up the roster. You guys, I don't understand what you guys don't like about Sam Howell. I understand the stats, but there's a lot of things that he did that was impressive. With some of the throws, the run, the 3rd and 20 that he ran with his feet. I mean, he did some bad things as well, but I just don't understand in comparison from how
almost every quarterback in the NFL makes good plays.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Well,
that
Heineke
doesn't
does
mean
too.
they're good quarterbacks overall.
So you're saying you want Sam Howell to be your number 1 quarterback for all 17 games next year. That's what you're saying.
No, I can't. No, I can't foresee that. But what I would rather do is draft a quarterback, but not at number 2. Move back, build up the offensive line, because now what happens is when you do draft a quarterback at number 2, you still have the same offensive line. I know you guys said that you would get other picks, but guess what? We have pressing needs at linebacker, pressing needs at offensive line. So, I mean, I don't know. I would rather build up, through the draft. The only person I think that can beat Howell is an NFL veteran. That's it. That's coming in and this.
So hold on. So you want to move back in the draft and take a quarterback later in the draft, right?
Yeah, I would do that.
Okay.
Yes, I would do that.
Well, where are you going to take the quarterback? What round?
Well, it depends on where you move back at. Oh, the first round, maybe the first round.
Okay, so you're not taking an offensive lineman in the first round because you're moving back, but you're still going to take a quarterback in the first round.
But you're moving back to get more picks.
Well, I understand that, but you're still taking a quarterback in the first round. That's what you're saying.
You're getting a lesser quarterback.
Your best
quarterback, and you are getting more picks because
I'm not into the lesser
players.
quarterback. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate the call. I can't just. Hopefully, they're never picking at number 2 again. Please just take advantage of where you're picking at this point. You have the chance to draft a quarterback that can be your cornerstone for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you pass on that to draft a lesser talent? I just don't understand that concept. And as far as drafting offensive linemen, you have 6 of the top 103 picks in the upcoming draft.
You're
telling me that
you can't
there
get
aren't quality offensive linemen, 1 or 2 that you can draft in that range? I refuse to believe that.
Well, and you also have a bunch of money you can spend on free agents.
Absolutely.
All right? You can do that.
Yep.
Now, unless Adam Peters and Dan Quinn went and said, you know what? Drake May and Daniels, they're just not worth it. They're not good enough. All right. That's a different story. I don't think they're going to say that. I don't think that's the way they're speaking behind closed doors. If they thought that there was only one quarterback worth drafting at number 2,
right,
that's Caleb Williams, and he's going to be gone, then that's a different story. But I just don't believe that.
Let's go to Chris in Brandywine. Chris, you're on with the Junks. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Hello.
Let me just start off by saying this. There's so many people here in the DMV that are so afraid and used to mediocrity that they want us to build up the offensive line, sign Saquon Barkley, and relive the Joe Gibbs football days. And Joe Gibbs is not coaching this team. Like that was the approach that Ron Rivera tried to use to build up around the team and then plop in a quarterback, and he could never find one, and then we never had to pick high enough to get one. We got to go out here, get this quarterback, take the Houston approach, maybe trade back into the first round and go after a Brock Bowers with your quarterback. You know, that's what you need to do. Take some risk and make some things happen.
Yeah, this is my guy, Chris. He likes offense. He likes quarterbacks and stud tight ends. Thank you for the call. Stud tight ends that look like dorks when they're hanging out at the Super Bowl or the.
I saw that.
But that dude is a player.
He is.
And he would make a nice impact on any team, certainly here in Washington. Bank local, cheer local. In business, every day is game day. Business is always moving up or down, but never still. That's why the Main Street Bank team treats every day like game day. Main Street Bank is a business-focused community bank proudly serving the DMV since 2004. Visit mstreetbank.com to learn how to put our team in your office. Main Street Bank, member FDIC, equal housing opportunity lender.